The following program is brought to you in living color by Trek World.
Remember that in all of these videos, there's going to be a link in the description that you can go to where you will actually be taken to an affiliate link on Amazon showing you the availability of the books that I've been discussing. 1968 through 1969. The final season of Star Trek. The ratings declined, and the network relegated it to the Friday night death slot. Budgets were slashed, tensions rose behind the scenes, and many assumed that the end was inevitable. Yet through it all, the crew kept flying the Enterprise. They kept telling human stories against impossible odds. Marc Cushman's These Are the Voyages, the original series, Season 3, pulls back the curtain on that tumultuous year. It's not a farewell. It's a fight to keep the dream alive until the final fade to black. What you are about to hear is the story of a show under siege, facing cancellation, creative constraints, and unrelenting conviction that ideas matter more than ratings. Season 3 of the original series is legendary, let's just face that. Not just for triumphs, but also for its struggles. Cushman begins by situating the show's final year amid NBC's cost-cutting, reduced time slots, and creative interference. Roddenberry's direct involvement waned. Fred Freeberger stepped in as producer. The network forced script changes, relocated filming schedules, and imposed budget cuts that hampered effects, sets, and guest casting. Cushman reconstructs how season planning proceeded under these constraints, which scripts survived, which were reworked under duress, and how staff turnover and morale affected production. Each episode became a case study in creative survival. While the earlier 2 volumes focused on the birth and rise of Star Trek, this one focuses on its near-death trial. The final year, when every decision felt like it might be the last. Now, as usual, Cushman's greatest achievement here is detail. He does not rely on memory alone. He reprints staff memos, network correspondence, scheduling documents, censor reports, and internal budgets. You see the hard lines where creative ambition meets executive edicts. He frames each episode as a microcosm of the season's larger battle. You get scene-by-scene breakdowns, script change logs, director's notes, often with Cushman's critical commentary woven throughout. The highlight is how Cushman captures the tension between writers and network censors. Some scripts were rewritten multiple times, dialogues cut or sanitized. In some cases, entire acts were reconstructed overnight. Visually, the book is rich even in its less flashy moments. Staff photo shoots, behind-the-scenes candid shots, script pages with handwritten edits, press stills showing set reuse and cost-saving measures. These glimpses became powerful when viewed through the lens of constraint. For fans who watched the original series for years, this volume sheds light on why certain episodes feel thin, why some ideas never made it, because they were fought in meeting rooms long before the cameras rolled. Now, as we've seen before, even this ambitious work isn't perfect. The density of archival material can sometimes slow narrative flow. The reader may feel like a researcher rather than an engaged viewer. Some editorial choices kind of feel opaque. Why include certain memos but not others? Occasionally, Cushman notes missing documents or gaps without fully explaining them. Because of constraints, some creative disputes are reported diplomatically. The more combustible tensions, clashes between Roddenberry and the production staff, or disagreements over tone, are sometimes hinted at rather than explored in detail. The visual reproduction is mostly black and white. Concept sketches or early drafts seldom appear in color. However, many of the behind-scenes images still remain unpublished elsewhere. Yet, these limitations reflect reality. The show was under siege, and so is the record of it. Cushman doesn't pretend the story was tidy. He invites us to see its jagged edges. The richest chapters dig deep into specific episodes. The Enterprise incident, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, Turnabout Intruder, showing how each production was stretched to its limit. Cushman walks you through each episode's development. Original drafts, rewrites under duress, directorial choices, filming complications, and post-production fixes. In Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, he highlights how a controversial social allegory survived network pressure, but only partially. Some dialogue trimmed, some scenes altered, yet still provocative for its time. In Turnabout Intruder, the last aired episode, you see the stakes. Crew on short schedule, actors pushing through fatigue, scripts retooled at the last minute. Cushman shows how even the swan song was a battlefield, captured under pressure. These pages, they flirt with tragedy, a show that had given so much, now fighting not to fade away into oblivion. But they also affirm resilience. Ideas outlast budgets. Dedication survives interference. In its final act, Cushman widens the lens a bit. He shows us how Season 3's struggle seeded the mythos. Cancelization created scarcity. Scarcity created fervent fandom. He documents early fan reactions, letter campaigns, press coverage mourning the show's end, conventions that treated the original series like a lost relic. He also tracks how the archival decisions of this volume influenced later Trek historiography. Future books and documentaries would treat Season 3 as sacred ground, partly because its production had been so transparent in his pages. He argues that the show's legacy, even its failures, became part of its identity. You see, Star Trek was never perfect. It still isn't. But that human imperfection makes it relatable. In the decades afterwards, fans and creators would reclaim those flaws as texture, not fault lines. Season 3 may have been the end of the mission's original run, but its spirit carried forward into fandom, into conventions, into next-gen stories. Its final years were the crucible for the fandom that would resurrect Star Trek once again. So, is These the Voyages, the original series, Season 3? Indeed. Season 1, 2, or 3? Are they worth your time? Undoubtedly. It's not comforting nostalgia or uncritical praise. It's an excavation, a reckoning with pressures that nearly ended a beloved story. He offers no illusions. Creativity is harder when budgets shrink, when executives close ears, when morale frays. But he also shows why Star Trek mattered, even when it wobbled. You see, Season 3 didn't end the story. It galvanized the fans. It proved that stories survive, even when shows don't. Gene Roddenberry may have lost control, but the dream did not die. And in its pages, we see not an ending, but a promise. The voyage continues.